Hi everyone, Aiden here at the Trailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install these TireMinder valve extenders for your tires. Now we're going to be checking this out on our 2020 Forest River Georgetown GT5. Let's get started. Now these are designed to be used on the rear wheels where one of the valve stems is actually pointing inward. And you can see the one installed right now, it's now pointing towards us because it kind of bends backwards. Now this is a must-have on your Georgetown because with the way these openings are shaped and how small they are, even if you had a tire pressure gauge that had a hooked end, we didn't have any luck getting it to fit on that valve when it was pointing inward like that. So the extension here is going to make it much easier to get a tire pressure gauge on there and get a read on your tire pressure. The kit comes with new valve caps, so we can pop that off, grab our gauge, and get a more accurate reading of our tire pressure now, whereas we couldn't really before. It does come in a kit of 2, and it gives you a 135-degree bend. Now it's important to note there's other shapes and sizes of these. Another 135-degree bend from Wheelmasters, which is a little bit bigger than this one, and there's one that gives you a 180-degree bend. And it's important to note that neither of those work. They both have clearance issues on your Georgetown, so this is the one you need. And because the clearance is limited, installation could be a little bit tricky, but we'll show you how to pop this cover off and get this threaded on really simply. Now when you go to install your valve stem extension, you'll probably notice that clearance is pretty limited on your wheel, just because these openings are so small, and I know my hands don't fit very well back there, so what we can do to make this a bit easier is actually remove this cover. So looking around the border here, you'll see some of these that have a slightly less domed top to them. This one right here is one that we're looking for. And then the other one is going to be 180 degrees across from it. So you can grab an 1 1/8" socket and pop those off to remove the cover. Now it's worth mentioning, our tire's in the air right now because John's on the other side installing some sumo springs. You absolutely do not need the motorhome off the ground for this. That's just why ours is in the air. Once those two are removed, the cover will just slide straight off, and we can set that to the side, giving us a lot more room to work under here. So this is the valve stem we're going for right here. You can see it's pointing straight backwards, and our new extension here will put it at a much better angle. So I'll try to keep my hands out of the way as best I can, but start to thread it on by hand, and eventually you'll hear it hiss. Just keep going until it stops. And you could tighten it down fully with an 11mm wrench. Now if you have a wrench with a flexible head like this, it'll help you out quite a bit because it can slide over and we can lock it in at a more optimal position and fully tighten this down. You can go to that connection we just made and spray it down with a little bit of soapy water and check to see if it's bubbling up. If it does, then we haven't made a good connection and we need to tighten it down some more. We see no new bubbles forming, which means it's got a good seal, and we can put the cover back on. Once you've done that, you can repeat the process on the other side with your other extension. And that'll do it for our look at and installation of these TireMinder valve extensions on our 2020 Forest River Georgetown GT5. Thanks for watching.